Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me just mute that. Where's that? Okay. So let's just go record. Let's just go jump straight to the drums. You need these. I'll get rid of these. Sorry. Because I feel like if I don't do this now, I may not have time again. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this as an example. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this as an
echoes of your laughter hunting.
oh my god. I'll just take this one as an example. I'll just take this part just to show you the drums. Oh my god, this is taking time.
Echoes of your laughter haunting my mind. Tonight I'm on the dance floor, undressing your shadow of perfect you look. Echoes of your laughter haunting my mind. Tonight I'm on the dance floor,
So now I'm just gonna mute everything. You know what we're gonna do immediately? So when you have finally drums, right? So this is like right now is 1:30, but I'm gonna produce the same beat, same 8-bar beat. I'm gonna produce it in multiple different ways. It will be like, it will sound like hip hop, it will sound like R&B, it will sound like pop, it will sound like dance. So that way you understand the difference. So first of all, let me just take this one here so that way I don't get distracted. So right now I only have vocal and I have bass, but I don't care about the bass. I just want to listen to the click.
echoes of your laughter haunting my mind. Tonight I'm on the
Okay,
dance floor.
so we have some vocals here. What we're gonna do, this is like 100 30 BPM, but I'm gonna change it later. But I just want you to think about one thing right now. So when you start programming your drums, I really suggest you start with a kick drum. I mean, this is like literally like the fastest thing that you can do. Just type kick drum on Splice if you still are enjoying the Splice. You can just type kick drum. So, but before I pick a kick drum, I want to pick my genre. Let's say I want to make dance music, right? Kick. I'll just say EDM, right? EDM kick, and you're gonna see all these kicks here. This is ridiculous. I don't like these. Kick EDM. Okay. Okay, this one is nice. Okay, so I want you to know one thing. When you go on Splice, if you click on the most popular, then you're going to see the most popular means most used, means people really like it. People really like it and they keep downloading it. Everybody likes it. So this is a good start. So if you click on the most popular, or you can click on most relevant. But if you click on most popular, then you're gonna grab something really good and popular. Okay, this one works. So I'm just gonna grab this one. Or you can listen to a few ones, but you can always change them later. So before we start grabbing the sounds that we are looking for, I want you to know one thing. So there are two ways to create those drums. One, you can use the audio approach, means that you're going to create an audio channel and then you're going to grab the audio to your session. What is audio? Before we start, what is audio? This is audio. This is audio. But what is MIDI? This is MIDI. This is MIDI, right? So this is the audio. This is like the printed version. Anytime you think you're trying to print something, that will turn into audio. So audio is the printed version of MIDI. So this is like the audio. This audio contains information. Audio files are mostly more heavier than the MIDI files. MIDI files are easy. They are less CPU eaters, but audio files, you're gonna see all these waves. So when you look at the audio file, you can actually tell where is the transient, where is the tail. So when you look at audio file, I want you to see this. Look at this. So first thing you see here is always going to be the transient. So start calling it transient. And this part, rest of the part is, this is an audio signal, right? Rest of the signal is sustain, or you can call it decay or sustain. This is decay, this is sustain, and this is the tail. Means, yeah, just call it tail. So anytime you go on audio file, you're always going to see the same thing. At the beginning of the signal is going to be called sustain. Rest of the signal, I'm sorry, at the beginning of the signal, I'm so sorry, I didn't even eat food today, so that's why. Oh my god, I shouldn't be making this video, but I'm gonna make this video and go straight to bed, that's why. Okay, so first part of the signal is a transient. Where is the first part here? This is the first part. This is the first part. There's like a noise here, and that's the transient. And this is the sustain, and this is the tail. So every audio has the same parts. So the reason I wanted to mention this before, because when you do Melodyne sessions, you're going to see the same thing. Audio is always same, never changing. So when you look at this, look, this is a transient. The first initial note, the first initial peak, we call it transient, okay? So when you zoom in, you can say that, okay, this is a transient. First highest peak, it's called transient. And rest is sustain. So you can just, you know, this is the vocabulary of sound language. So if you get used to seeing this, looking at the waveform and telling what is what, then you're just gonna be faster than everybody else. So anytime you look at an audio file, just look at transient. The first initial note is a transient. First peak is the transient. Just know that. And rest is sustain. And you can just call this one tail. Tail. Normally in sound design language, they also call it release. But you know, you can call it tail. A lot of people are calling it tail because tail is like the end of the signal. Because right after this, there's another signal starts, and which is this with a transient, right? This is a transient. There's like some noise here, so I just want you to, you know, get familiar with this. Anytime when you look at waveform, I want you to be able to look at the beginning, look at the tail, and look at the sustain. So just do this practice. This is gonna take like 2-3 months to get used to probably, but when you get used to this, oh my god, you're good. You're good. Like, this is like super shortcut. So try to get used to that. Okay, so first thing is first. Anytime you start programming drums, just start with the kick. You can always change it later. If you don't like it, you can always change it. But before than that, you want to make sure you pick a related kick in that same genre. So make sure it's in the same genre, because otherwise it's going to take a lot of time for you to get it sound good if it's not in that genre. Most of the time I see a lot of producers, like, they're just grabbing kicks from different genres. It sounds, you know, it's an EDM song, it sounds like rap song. It's a rap song, it sounds like an EDM track. It's so weird. Like, sound selection is so important. So your best trick here is to just type the genre. I mean, you can just skip all that crazy stuff by just typing your genre. And most people don't do that. Don't know that. They just pick whatever they want. But it's important. You want to make sure that that sound belongs to that genre. Because why? The genre creates consistency between drum elements. So if you do not have the drums that are representing your genre, then you're gonna sound like all over the place. The people are not gonna like your music. Just saying. Just saying. So this is the shortcut. Type this genre, type what you're looking for, kick. This is where we start. And click on most popular. You can see what people are liking it. Look, Kashmir again. Let's see this one. Actually, I like the Kashmir one because it's softer. The reason I like the softer because this is like, right now all I have is like some vocal and some bass. I just want to see if I have like a song. So I'm just gonna get like some soft kick. This one feels softer. Soft kicks are always safe to play. You can always start with a soft kick and then you can decide what you want. This one is a little bit punchy, so I want you to get used to, since you're gonna start creating drums now, I want you to get used to this terminology. This is a soft kick. You can call this like a thumb kick. It has like a thumb, but it doesn't have the punch. It doesn't have that much transient. Like, I can just picture this kick's audio file in my mind right now by just listening to the sound. And in future, in time, you're gonna do the same. So when I click on this, this is so much punchier. Why do I say punchy? Because it's so present, it's loud, it sounds louder. Maybe it's not louder, but it sounds louder because of the transient. Anytime you have like something very transient, present thing, then you should know that that's gonna sound a little bit louder because of the transient, because initial transient is like probably loud. Okay, so I'm just gonna create this safe kick. It has a thumb. It doesn't have that much crazy transient. It's okay. We don't need anything crazy right now. We're just trying something. We're just starting. Safe start. Okay, so this is the, I mean, you can, I don't know how you guys do it in Logic, but I'll just tell you this. So just grab the kick from here on Splice. You can just grab it directly. So I'm just gonna grab it. And as soon as I grab it, it's gonna create like an audio channel for me. I believe Logic does the same thing. If it doesn't, then you may need to create an audio channel and grab the kick there. So right now, let's go back. What do I have right now? I grab this. It looks like a kick. It looks like some weird shape. When you look, this is a transient. The first initial note is a transient. When you zoom in, you can tell this is a transient. And where is the sustain? This is the sustain of the kick. How long this kick lasts. That is the sustain. And where's the tail? Tail is here. Look, this is a tail. So later, I'm gonna decide if I want to keep the tail or not. So it depends on the song you may want to keep. But right now, just focus on where kick is gonna go. You don't have to edit anything. Just grab a kick, type your genre and grab a kick. Now let's decide where the kick is gonna go. So for dance music genre, 4 on the 4. Kick always goes on 4 on the 4. You never hear a different one. So okay, let me lower this kick. So just, I'm gonna mute the kick right now and just listen to the beat. Listen to the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to have the kick at each one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So kick goes on the 1, kick goes on the 2, kick goes on the 3, kick goes on the 4. For dance music. Later, I'm going to change this later because we're going to speak genres. I'm just going to do the same thing, but we're just going to change the genre. Okay, so now you know the kick goes on the on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. This is for dance music. Okay, so where is the clap gonna go? Okay, now I have this right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So what is it? Okay, second thing is second. What you need to do, go look for a snare. I mean, these are the shortcuts. A lot of people are gonna be like showing you like, oh yeah, do this, do that. I mean, this is like the shortest. Just type snare. Snare. You can type EDM or you can just type nothing. Like, You can even just say snare. You can listen. Okay, so when you listen, how do you select the best snare? Don't worry about that right now. I just want to show you where the snare goes. Okay. Okay, I'll just take this one. Kashmir snare. Right now, I'm just going to show you where snare is going to go for dance music. I'm just going to be quick about it. I'm going to minimize this. So I'll just, what I did, I'm just going to grab this, and my Ableton is going to open up a new channel for me. That way I don't have to do it. So it's going to grab it here. So there's only one thing you have to care about here. I'm going to lower the volume a little bit because I know it's going to be loud. Anytime you grab a sample from Splice, just know that that's going to be loud because those are already mixed and mastered, you know. Okay, so kick 1, 2, 3, 4. So snare is going to go on the second, okay? And snare is going to go on the fourth, okay? Now you know. 1. Yeah, it's always going to be like that for dance type of music, any type of, you know, actually majority of the pop music also the same. Snare always is going to go on the second and the fourth. That's it. That's all you need to know so far. That's it. So we got the kick, right? Just type kick. So we got the snare, snare. Okay, second. Actually third. What else we need? Clap. I'm just gonna go straight to clap. Clap. Just type clap. Clap. Awesome. Oh my god, my stomach. Okay. That's too long. Look at this clap. Too messy all over the place. Too long. This one is nice, but it has some reverb on it. Maybe I don't use it. Okay, I'll use this one. Why not? So again, pick whatever you want. Right now, I just want you to focus on where the clap is gonna go. Super fast. Like even if you don't know anything, if you just type clap and type your genre and pick one of those, you're gonna sound good. If you don't wanna log into Splice or download anything from there, just make sure you're picking your sounds from the same sound pack. It's very important because a lot of beginners, I used to make this mistake too. We don't really have the sound consistency if we pick the samples from completely different packs. So these guys created these drum packs to help us. So that way you can just pick from the same genre. Anyway, so I grabbed this kick. I grabbed this clap. I'm gonna lower the volume. So clap and snare, they go to the same place. Just put the clap on top of snare. That's all you have to do. That's it. Okay, great. So what I have right now, I have kick, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, kick. Clap and snare, oops, clap and snare on the second and the fourth, right? Clap and snare on the second one. And now let's go to the hi-hat right away because we don't want to lose time. Yeah, just, I mean, best way to learn production is just to keep producing, to be honest. Yeah, just keep producing. And I give you the shortcuts. This is all you need, literally. And then you can improve that later. Hat. So on Splice, you can say hat. So anytime you see like a sample, so this sample is going to have 2 versions. All samples have like 2 versions. One shot or loop. So you should know if it's a one shot, then you should know that it's just one signal. Means like this. It's just one time. This kick hits on the once, that's all, and it stops, right? That's one shot. We call it one shot. So if I type hat one shot here, I can do that, but that's gonna take a little bit longer than I probably expect. So for the hat, I'll give you the shortcut again. Just maybe type hat loop. Hat loop, okay? Hat loop. Also, if you go on Logic, if you type hat loop, you're gonna see a lot of hat loop. So when you go, just type, you should just type your BPM. So in this one, we have 130. Okay, so what I did, I just type hat loop, and that way I don't have to create the hats from scratch. because right now we're just creating the skeleton of that whole thing, right? So we don't want to go into the details. So that's why I'm just gonna type hat loop and pick whatever I have here. I'm gonna say ED hat loop dance or EDM, whatever. Oops. Let's see. Hats. I'm also gonna make sure that I put my BPM one more time. Where's the BPM? 130. Okay. Yeah, splice is a little bit annoying. You keep have to type. It's ridiculous, actually. No, I don't like this. I don't like this hat loop. I don't want it to be from my library. Oh, splice, come on, hat loop. I'm gonna try one more time. Sometimes it's so annoying. Oh my god, splice. I can't believe this. I keep typing hat loop and it shows me something completely different. You know, I complain about this. I email Splice. I told them they suck. But I don't know if they're gonna fix it or not. Their algorithm is so weird. I'm just gonna type house something. Okay, it's fine. Okay, this one is not, or seems like I already have it. So I'll just grab that hat loop. I pick my BPM correctly. That way, you know, right now, this is just like shortcut. I'm shortcutting everything. Means that I'm not really fully producing right now. I'm just like trying to put like some drum beat. Okay, so I grab that hat loop. I lower the volume. Now I have what I have right now. Kick, snare, clap, and hat loop. Oops. Hat loop. That's it. Hat loop. I'm gonna lower the volume. I'm gonna lower all of their volumes because I don't want you to be deaf because of me. So when it comes, okay, so right now I have kick, I have snare, I have clap, I have hat, right? First, I want you to just start with the kick. Make sure kick is audible, and then go activate the snare and slowly bring up the fader. Get yourself used to doing this. Right now you're a producer, you're not a mixer, but this is how you're gonna do in future when you're mixing your own stuff. This is how you're gonna do it. Just bring the slowly bring the fader up. So right now I have the kick. Okay, this is enough. So the moment you feel like snare is enough, stop. So from minus infinity to up, this is your move. Anytime you go on a fader, I want you to go bring the fader to minus infinity, means zero, nothing, no sound at all. And then I want you to slowly bring it up. Get yourself used to doing this because this is going to be really helpful for you. So I'm going to do this now. I'm going to level my snare. Actually, it sounds good already. Okay, so okay, too loud. Okay, so now we have the clap, right? So I want you to look at one thing. Look at this clap. Look at this clap. This clap starts right here. Why do you think so? Why do you think this clap starts later after the snare? Because if they both hit at the same time, because they're both hitting at the same time, that's just going to create a little bit of mud. That's why on Splice, these samples are so professional. These guys already calculated that. So that way, when you have the clap, it's not gonna interrupt your snare. So these guys already calculated that. That way, you're gonna have like a nicer. But of course, I still want you to adjust your timing with it so that way they sound like one. So now I'm just gonna activate the clap. I'm gonna move the fader. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so I may move the clap a little bit more. So I just want you to look at here. Look at where snare starts. Snare starts here, but clap starts here. See? So there's always like this is like an advanced trick. I just wanted to show you this. That way I can show you, you know, save you some time in future. This is like one little cool trick that we do to make sure that they both are audible, because this is the transient and this is a transient. If two transients come on top of each other, that's gonna be like clipping. That's gonna be loud. That initial transient of the sound is gonna be loud. Again, this is an advanced trick. You don't have to do this right away, but if you do it, I mean, it's great if you do it, if you start doing it, because that's an advanced trick. And you can just separate yourself from the other beginners. And I don't even consider you like a beginner anymore, like after seeing how much work you put in. Anyway, so now I have this clap already here, right? But what about this one? I didn't edit this one. I didn't move this one. So I can just copy and paste this one on top of the other one. That way I can get away with it. So I have exactly the same clap right now here. Now let's listen. Okay, so normally when you have snare and clap, make sure you level them correctly. You don't want to go crazy with the clap. You don't want to get so loud, because these are hitting at the same time. Anything like hitting at the same time is going to get loud. Look at what we have here. We have kick, we have snare, we have clap. This is going to hit really like, you know, this is going to be like a peak there, that you create a peak there without even knowing, because the transients, they all hit at the same time, you know. Okay, so now we have this. Let me grab some. Okay. Okay, it's time for the hat loops. So when you have like a hat loop, I want you to look at the waveform. I just want you to look at the waveform. Again, I don't want to give you like the beginner tips. You're brilliant. You're amazing. You should learn all of these. So look at this. Which one is loud? This is like some noise, right? This is like quiet, right? It looks like quiet. But how about this one? This one sounds super loud. It looks like it's gonna get loud here. So I want you to get yourself used to looking at the waveform. When you look at this, you should say that, oh my God, this is quiet. And when you look at this, this is like, oh my God, this is also quiet. And when you look at this, you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is loud. What's happening in there? What is the difference? Like, I just grabbed the hat loop and this one is louder, but this one is like quiet. But why? What is the reason? It's because the character of this hat, this is an open hat, probably. Without even listening to my loop, I can already tell that this is probably like an open hat. Because open hats are a little bit louder and a little bit more sustained. Sustained means longer. So you're always going to see like longer. The moment you look at the waveform, if I see something like this, the moment I look at the waveform, I can tell this is a short hat, means closed hat. Closed hat. So there's like a difference. One, closed hats. Second, open hats. So now let's listen to the difference. Now I'm just gonna solo this open closed hat. This is it. I'm just gonna, you know, mute the rest. I'm just gonna listen to this closed hats right now. I'm gonna loop this section. Look at this. If I bring up the fader, this is the closed hat sound. So it sounds like this. You can even record it with your mouth. You can record this closed hat with your mouth and you can literally add it to your song. But since we already got the splice, so we don't have to record it with the mouth. But this is the sound you're gonna get. Even if you do it with your mouth, you're still gonna get the same sound. Isn't that so crazy? Right? So now you can look at the waveform, you can tell this is like a short signal, but this one is a long signal. So anytime you see a short signal, just know that it's a closed hat. Anytime you see a longer version, just know that it's a longer hat. So the reason we have closed hats and we have longer hats means anytime you add the closed hats, they're just gonna hit on the 16th note. They're gonna be more often. You're gonna hear the closed hats more often, and they are mostly being used to create the excitement in the rhythm. So let's say I'm just gonna delete all these open hats that I've grabbed, right? So I'm just gonna delete all that stuff, and I'm only gonna put the closed hat that I grabbed from Splice just to show you. So I'm just gonna duplicate that. So right now, all I'm supposed to hear the closed hats. Listen to it, pay attention. What do you hear here? What do you hear exactly? Excitement, right? Because when you put these closed short hats, you can also call them short hats or closed hats, but most people say hi-hats or hat loops or closed hats or short hats. I mean, you can decide whatever you want to call it. But anytime you put like a closed hat, a loop, that you know that that is the part that you're actually creating like an excitement in the beat. And now let's see if we actually did that. Let's compare. We have kick, we have snare, we have clap. Awesome. So if I turn off the hat loop, look, I've got a rhythm. So I've got the rhythm, but when I put the hat loop, when I put the hats, we have this excitement. So that is the frequency of the hats for closed hats. I don't know how else to explain this, but you're very smart girl, so I'm sure you're gonna, you know, I'm sure you're gonna be fine. Anyway, so what I did, again, just to recap, I just grabbed that only the closed hats from that loop, because I grabbed that loop, but I cut the closed hat, I duplicated the signal, that way I only have the closed hat. So I'm just gonna name it closed hat. You can call it like closed hat, or you can call it short hat, or most people just call it hat. When you say hat loop, or you can say hat loop, then that's gonna make sense, because then that's gonna sound like, okay, probably a closed hat loop or open hat loop. So now let's go look at the open hat. So now you know how frequent closed hat is going to be for this type of genre, right? So when you go to, let's say you're listening to some song from Michael Jackson, right? You're always gonna hear kick, snare, and clap. And later in the song, they're gonna introduce the hats, because hats mostly to create the excitement in the tracks. So hats are being used for this purpose. You don't put closed hats all over the song. You don't do it. You put it some places whenever you want to create some excitement, especially for chorus or for bridge. Listen to some Bruno Mars songs. Like, listen to it. When do they put the closed hats? Just try to pay attention to the closed hats. Where do they put it? Most of the time they put it on areas that they want to create excitement. Okay, so now we have the hat loop. Let's color code. Let's color code our drums, so that way we don't get distracted. I'll just call it, you know, green. Okay, so we have the kick, we have the snare, we have the clap. Amazing, we're good, we're almost done. And yeah, and we have this one. Whoops. So we got 4 elements so far, right? We got 4 elements. And I also put it like a green. Awesome. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're good. Awesome. let's take a look at the open hat now. So that sample that I grabbed from Splice, you remember? This is the open hat, right? So now let's take a look at open hat. I'm gonna mute everything. I'm just gonna play the open hat right now. I'm gonna delete the previous short hats. I'm just gonna leave the open hat. That's all I'm gonna leave. Yeah. Also, I'm gonna delete this one too. So when you grab a hat loop, you can cut and paste and you can separate them. This is the close hat, this is the open hat, right? I'll just type it close hat because that's how I'm used to. This is open hat, okay? Open hat, the longer one. Again, look at this, it's a longer one. Okay, so we have the open hat. Open hat doesn't hit that often because it's already loud. Open hat is being used to create even more excitement, If you don't put any open hat, you're still gonna have the excitement, but if you put open hat, you're also gonna have, I mean, you're gonna take it to the next level, okay? So that is close hat. This is open hat. So I want you to just start picturing these sounds, because you're gonna see a lot of people on YouTube probably gonna be like trying to make you stuff from scratch. I understand, but what I want you to do the opposite. Go listen to some songs and try to mimic the drums with your mouth instead. So this is close hat. Look how often it plays. This is open hat. Close, close, open, close, close, open. I want you to start mimicking these in your mouth. I mean, this is where it starts, seriously. This is, if you can mimic something in your mouth, then you can totally produce that. Don't worry about it. But first, you gotta mimic it in your mouth first. Normally in the drummer's world, 2 close hats and 1 open hat, because open hat is already like long and big. You can't play that often. You just played once. Look at this. So this is like a close hat, right? Command J. 1 second. I'm just gonna Command J it. Consolidate. Look at this now. Let's play just once. That's how I'm gonna mimic it. So this one is playing probably like 16 times, actually more. Yeah, 16 times actually. 4. So this one plays it 4 times and this one plays only once. And look at the areas. I just want you to listen to the close hats and open hats right now. Okay. So start with mimicking the open hat, because that's easier. So from now on, when you listen to the songs, from now on, I want you to just mimic the close hats and mimic the open hats. I just saw your message. Don't worry about it. No, it's fine. Food can wait. It's okay. It's not like I'm gonna die from not eating. Come on. It's actually really good for the body if you're fasting. At my age. I mean, you're younger than me, so you probably don't need to fast. Okay. So now I'm noticing something. My open hats are too loud. I'm gonna lower it, because the reason I want to lower the open hats, because it's already loud. Look at this waveform. I also want you to know one thing about audio files. Anything is short, human ears are gonna think it's not loud enough. Anything is long, your human brain is gonna think it's loud. So I want you to just, when you look at the short hat and the long hat, I just want you to be able to tell directly that, oh my God, this is gonna sound even louder because this is long. Because human brain thinks if something is long, then human brain thinks it's loud. That's how the illusion works. Okay, so now we have this. Okay, by the way, I'm still playing the click. I'm gonna get rid of the click of my Ableton. Okay, so I want you to look at this area. Also, there's one more advanced rule. They don't really show this to beginners, but it's an important rule. So look at this. This is open hat, right? And you also have the closed hat here. Why would you want to have closed hat too? You don't have to. You can just delete that closed hat. You don't need that. That's just gonna, clutter your mix. You don't need that. Close, close, open, close. So now I'm just gonna take all of these samples. I'm just gonna bounce them in place on Ableton. Look, close, close, open, close, 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 open, close. So open hat is always on the third. If you have like close hat, I mean, of course, this is right now is a little bit difficult to explain probably. If you were a drummer, it will be easier for me to explain probably, but I think this is where you need to just listen to the songs that you like and try to see if there's any open hats. Try to mimic it with your mouth. Okay, now you know the difference between open hat and closed hat. Closed hat is like hitting too often. Open hat hitting just once. 1, 2, 3, 1 close, 2 close, 3 open, 4 close, right? This is the loop. So once I know that this is the loop I want, I'm just gonna duplicate that. I don't have to just like edit everything. I just go ahead and copy and paste and duplicate it and I'm good. That's it. Fast, right? Look at this. Now we have like a signals, clean signal. Close, close, open, close, 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 open, close, 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 open, close. Now let's listen to it. Great. Now let's bring the claps. Now let's bring the snare. Snare and clap, they're hitting at the same time. That's easy. Now let's bring the kick. Awesome. Awesome. Let's bring the vocals. Oh, do I have vocals here? Actually, okay. So when you're composing the drums, don't make the mistakes of the beginners because they're so brilliant. So I composed only this part, right? You don't have to go do the same thing here. You just select everything and copy and paste. I don't know how you guys are able to duplicate on Logic, but all you need to do is select that whole area and duplicate it. And now you have it on the second bar. Look, now if you just bring this, so now I can listen to it, the whole thing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have like 8 kicks right now. So let's make it 16. So again, one more time, I select the whole thing. So I had 8, now I'm going to have 16. So once you achieve the 16, you're good. So I don't want you to just go create the whole thing from scratch one by one. Just create the first 4. Select the first 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the area that you're gonna work on. That is the first area you need to work on. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Don't go to the 5. Don't go to the 6. Don't go to the 7 yet. That's it. For if this is the type of that you're gonna produce, I mean for this genre, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Once you're done, you copy and paste. This is going to save you time. Right now I have 16.
Echoes of your laughter haunting my mind tonight.
Oh my god, I forgot to copy the open hats. Let me just do that. Let me just do that too. See, I forgot, but it's okay. I can totally copy and paste. So once you got the 16, once you get the 16 of kicks, 16 part right, you're good. You're good. Means that you're in good shape. This is the skeleton of your drums. Okay, let's play it from.
Echoes of your laughter haunting my mind tonight. Echoes of your laughter haunting my mind tonight. I'm on the dance floor, undressing the shadow of perfect you look.
Amazing. You're good. Wow.
Echoes of your laughter haunting my mind tonight. I'm on the dance floor, undressing the shadow of perfect you look.
Okay, so this is a dance music, right? We just did it quickly. So now let's just quickly, let's not change any gear. Actually, no, we change any gear. We change the gears. I'm gonna mute these drums now. So since we're already here, I'm just gonna show you that one quickly as well. That way you can just shortcut and you don't have to spend time on other videos. 4 on the floor. I'll just call it 4 on the floor drums. That's what we call it in dance music. Okay. So I'm just gonna mute these now because now we're gonna do the same thing but for a different genre.
Echoes of your laughter haunting my mind tonight. I'm on the dance floor, undressing.
So I'm gonna, in order for me to do this, I'm gonna lower the BPM because this is like, this BPM is not gonna work for us. So we're gonna lower the BPM. Okay, let's do this. Let's do like 100 something. 112 is fine actually.
Echoes of your laughter haunting my mind tonight. I'm on the dance floor, undressing the shadow of perfect you look.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna mute the vocals. So now we're gonna do something like dum, tss, dum, tss, dum, tss, dum, tss. So again, I want you to just like, whenever you're like listening to a song, I just want you to mimic those with your mouth. So that way it's gonna be easier for the future videos that I make for you. It'll be easier. So just mimic it with your mouth, right? So this one, I lower the BPM. 112 is not a bad BPM. So this time we're gonna pick, again, I want to go to our cheat sheet, splice, go to the splice, that's your cheat sheet, and type kick. This time I want you to type hip hop because most of the time in a pop music especially, they're using hip hop kicks. So if you type kick and if you type hip hop, then you're gonna get the kicks that you hear on the radio. So yeah, this is the one. Yeah, exactly. This is very popular anyways. So yeah, I'm just gonna drag it directly. Like I'm not even gonna spend time on it. Especially my computer is like making noises probably. So we're just gonna, okay. Okay, so what I do, I just grab the kick. I type kick, hip hop, and I just grab it directly to the DAW. Directly to my DAW. Boom. So right now, kick pattern is gonna change. So I just want you to like focus on the pattern because that's gonna be, this is like a very popular pattern that you hear a lot on the radio. This is where our beat starts, I guess, right? Yeah, this is it. So before you start, doing it. I just want you to mimic it with your mouth. This is what we're gonna do. Boom, tss, boom, tss, boom, tss, something like that, okay? So let's record again, as I told you before, we just do the 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't go through like 16 bars. We just go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all. That's all we care about right now, right? Don't overcomplicate things. Of course, anytime you, again, just to remind you, anytime you grab something from Splice, lower the volume because that's going to be super loud. Yeah, you don't want to damage your ears. Okay, actually, this is it. Yeah, this is the beginning of the beat. Let me just mark this here. Definitely benefit from the markers on Logic. I will say start. I will say ST to start. That's how I know that beat starts here, right? Okay, so now I just want, this one is a little bit hard to explain. So that's why you're gonna mimic it with your mouth to make it easier to understand, because it's a little bit hard to explain. Because we call it offbeat. Offbeat means like it comes at the off time. It comes a little bit early. So I'm just gonna focus on this area. Okay, I'm just gonna loop it. Again, we're gonna loop the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we're gonna loop. You don't want to loop shorter than that. You don't want to loop longer than that. Just focus on 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all you need. Okay? Bum. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this kick here and on the third. Actually, at the end. At the end. Look at this. Am I doing it correctly? What am I doing here? Oh, okay. 1 second. Something like that. 1 second. Show automation. What am I doing here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, correct. Okay. Oh, of course, I forgot to tell you the most important thing. Oh my God, that's literally the most important thing. You want to put your click on. Put the click on when you're composing the drums. You may not need to do this for other stuff, but when you're composing the drums, put the click on. Bum, bum. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum, bum. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what we're gonna do. So my kick was too loud, so I lowered the amount of it. Bum, bum. That's it. Great, so that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm done, right? I finished. I'm done. Once I'm done, once I don't have any more kicks in the first 4 bar. I'm sorry, for the first 4 beats, I don't have anything else. Boom, 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 boom. You're gonna hear this again a lot in the radio type of songs. What is the example? Let me give you an example so you can understand correctly. What was the name of that song? Timbaland song. What was the name? What was the song? Oh, you don't know nothing alone to me. Something like that, right? So boom, boom. So that's an offbeat. That kick is an offbeat kick. So boom, boom. That's like a very famous pattern for mostly for hip hop or pop. So just now you know this pattern. Great. So I got the kick. So now let's just, let's not waste any time before my laptop kills itself. Let's go find a snare. So I'm gonna type snare. No, I'll type snare pop. So when you type it on Splice, again, try to go to the most popular section because that's where people really, really love that one. Means that These are the popular ones. I mean, you can't go wrong. If you pick the one of the popular ones, you're safe. As a beginner, you're safe. Okay, I like decap. No, I don't like this one. Okay. I like decap a lot, actually. Yeah. If you're following him on YouTube, he's great. He's amazing. He was producing songs for Nike. It's just such a great hip-hop producer. So he has all these kits on Splice. So all you need to do is just grab those. I mean, if you, I mean, in time you're gonna get familiar with the names too. So anytime you see like it's a decap sample, then know that it's a good one. Also, same thing for the Kashmir. Anytime you see a Kashmir sample, just know that that's a good one. So you can grab those. You can grab the good ones. And I do recommend you starting with the good ones. Yeah, try not to, because when you're using good samples, you're actually training your ears for the good stuff. Okay. This is the, right now I'm just mimicking with my mouth, and I also recommend you doing that. Something like that. Okay, let's hear. Oops, too loud. Oh my god, I'm sorry. No, not here. Okay. Boom. Great. Okay, great. So now I know that this is, I put the first snare to the correct place. I'll just duplicate it. Again, we're working on the 1, 2, 3, 4 area. We're not going to the rest. I mean, you can go to the rest, but I'm going to show you that too later, not in this video. But this, so far, I just want you to focus on 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all. Boom, 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 boom. This is such a like popular one, you know. Great. Great. The snare is like the same area. You can add claps if you want, but you know, you don't have to add clap for this one because it sounds like a lower BPM. My BPM is lower right now, so why would I use clap? And this, it doesn't sound, it sounds like a minor song, so it doesn't feel like it may need some clap, but I can try it. I can try it. I'll just snare, I'll just type clap. I'll grab some drink, some beer. Okay, so when I type clap pop, okay, no, that's, so anytime you hear like a sample like this, you can already tell that this is a long sample. It has reverb. We call that wet sample. You can pick like a dry sample. You can pick like a wet sample. Wet means it has reverb on it. Dry means it doesn't have any reverb on it. So you take your pick, okay? Yeah. Actually, that was cool. Yeah, that was different. I'll take that one. I'll take that one. Oliver claps are so good. Oh my god. Again, this is another company. Oliver right now, he used to be a producer, but right now he is a company. He's making all these samples, and he used to be a producer. He used to be like, you know, releasing music. But what happened, his sound selection, all these people, they're producers. They used to release music. They're still actually doing it. And their sound selection, their ability to pick the good sounds are so good, and now they became a company. So I want you to know, most of this stuff that you see on Splice, know that now they're a company, but they used to be a producer. So Kashmir used to be a DJ. I mean, still DJing, of course, but he opened up his company, and now he's because his ability, his ears, he's selecting the good sounds. That way you don't have to struggle. So he gives you the good sounds already, so you're good. And Oliver is popular in the pop music. Yeah, I'll just take this one. I just like it. I'll just take it. Oh my god, such a long one. Again, what do we remember? We remember that snare and kick, I'm sorry, snare and clap always hit at the same time, right? But we can differentiate it right now. We can put it at the same same bar with the snare, or we can differentiate it. We can just only put it on the last one, because boom, snare hits 2 times in the 4 beat area. So you can put your clap on the last one, or you can just put both. I mean, you decide, you make the decision here. But when I look at this clap, like, it's loud, it's long, I kind of want to like delete it. I kind of want to delete the rest. It's too long for me. So anytime you grab a sample, just also remember that you may need to make them, edit them. Don't use them as it is. Sometimes you may need to just manipulate them. You may need to like cut the end. If it's too long, you just cut it, and you just tame the tail. You fade out. We call this fade out. I don't know how you guys do it on Logic, but this is like fading out. You never want to cut a sample like this. Look at this. I'm just going to cut it now. I'm just going to show you. Look. You never want to cut a sample like this, okay? You always want to fade out. So now I have this clap. It's loud already. I lowered the volume, and it's already long, but I had to cut it literally. Anytime you cut a drum sample, know that you need to fade out. I'm sorry. This is like I know, like, this is like, oh my god, a lot of information, but it's just because you're so smart. So you learn fast. I mean, it's your problem, not you're just so smart. So you learn fast, and I'm not afraid of giving you all that information, because I know that you can take care of it. I believe in you, girl. I'm telling you. Okay. So anytime you grab a sample, if you are a beginner, you will just grab it. You will keep it as it is. But if you're an advanced music producer, which I consider you one at this point, you got the ears. You really have it. Trust me. And you always want to fade out the rest, the end, the tail. You don't need that, because you want smooth transition. You never want to leave your sample like this. This is beginner work. I don't want you to do it. No. Okay, so now let's listen. Actually, you could leave it long. Now that I'm hearing the sample, it's actually fine. You can leave it long. I'm gonna lower the volume. Or what you can do, you don't want to put it on the first one, you can put it on the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to put it on the last one, you can do that. Then you're gonna need to cut this, make it short. Actually, you can just make it longer, yeah. Beautiful. So your ears are gonna help you with the fade outs. Your ears are gonna help you with this, okay? I can help you too, but your ears are gonna help you. You can keep it a little bit short at this point, or you can keep it long and try and see if it works. Yeah, let's do it. Let's keep it long. Let's keep it as is, and let's see how it sounds. Actually, it doesn't sound bad. But then I was on the 1, 2, 3, 4 area. Now I'm on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, right? So now I have like 8 beats. Now I'm just gonna copy my kick. This was my kick. This was my snare. This was my clap. Let's just put some colors on them. Green, right click, assign. Okay, now we have snare, we have clap. Awesome. Now just duplicate the first 4 bar. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 beats. I'll just copy and paste that 4 beats. That's all I do. Everybody does that, trust me. Like, nobody is composing the whole thing. people are composing like a first 1, 2, 3, 4, then they copy and paste to the second one, and then they decide if anything like wants to be longer, then they decide for that. Okay, now let's see what we got. I'll pray from scratch. Amazing. Okay, great. So we're good. Now let's go to the hats. Hat. Let's say hat. I'm gonna say loop. I always go for hat loops. It's just because, you know, sometimes I'm lazy too. Actually, I'm never lazy, but yeah, I mean, it's a good way. You can just always cut the loop. You can cut it, paste it. The reason I recommend going for hat loop instead of individual hats is because when you listen to the hat loop, you're hearing it like 16 times. You're hearing it so often, so that way you can actually make your decision super fast. You can say that, oh my God, do I like this or not? I'm just trying to make you do it faster. That's my goal, right? I'm just, you know, trying to give you all the shortcuts, so that way you can skip all the bunch of unnecessary stuff. So again, this is like a shortcut. Use it. If you don't want to use it, you can also grab the individual hats. But yeah, I kind of recommend this, you know, hat loop. Of course, I'm going to put my BPM. Anytime you want to use like a hat loop, anytime you use like a loop, definitely make sure that you put also BPM information, okay? In this case, my BPM is 112. Okay, 112. The reason you want to do this because the loop is going to have like 16 or 18 of those hats, right? So if you are not correct with your BPM, then you're gonna have to stretch the audio. But you don't want to stretch the audio, you just want to use as is here, right? That's the safest way to use the audio, is to just grab it from here. But you want to put your you want to put your BPM first, especially if you're grabbing a loop. If you're not grabbing a loop, if you're just grabbing some kick, you don't have to put your BPM. Seriously, you don't need. But if you're grabbing like a loop, because it's like repeating, right? Right? So that's why I'm like choosing. Oh my God, I said hat loop. Splice. God, come on. I said 150. It's ridiculous. Yeah, this is what it does. 112. I said hat loop. Oh, that's why. Okay, sorry, I fixed it. Because when you click on your library, it only shows you the samples that you already got. So you don't want to see that. Just unclick that if you ever make that mistake. I like this. I like this. This is like a house hat, but we can still use it. Or maybe. Oh. No, I don't like those. I like this actually. This is so simple. I'll just grab that. And if I need to delete the parts, I'll just do that too. Okay, I'll just grab the whole thing. Look at how many hats we can have now, because we grab the hat loop. So when you just look at the waveform, I just want you to tell me what is the what is the closed hats and what is the open hats. Let's look together. Exam. Exam for Kate. Okay, let's look. Look, this looks long, but this one looks short. That's probably a close hat. And this is probably a close hat too. And this one looks long. Let's see if it actually works in the beat. But you get what I mean, right? The moment you look at the waveform, you should be able to tell, oh my God, this is like a long, probably open hat, and this is like a closed hat. I'm going to show you more advanced tricks later with the drums, but just want you to know so far, when you look at the waveform, try to make some predictions when you look at it. Okay, now let's listen. Oh, it actually worked. Do you hear this? That one is like a long one. This hat, the logic of this hat tells you that, okay, I finished the beat. Now I'm going to the next pattern. Sometimes we do this at the end of the whole the whole section. We put something else. We tell the listeners that, oh my god, like, okay, new section is starting, are you ready? And listeners are like, oh yeah, we're ready. You already gave the sign, you already gave us something different at the end, so now we know we're going to the next section. Thank you for that, producer, whoever is the producer of the song, so whatever. Okay, awesome. So now right now the hats important. You can use these hats in the verse, in the verse part, verse 1, verse 2, chorus. You can use them anywhere, but most of the time exciting hats are being used for the chorus section, or if you want to build up the energy, if you want to make people feel like more excited, if you want to create like an energy level, then you use a hat. But for this song, you can also do that with the volume of the hats. Let's say you have, right now we have this rhythm, and you want to put some hats, right? And if you lower the volume, you're gonna be fine. You can get away with it. You can still use the hats, and you can still keep the energy low. But if you increase the volume, then you keep the energy high. So right now, imagine, just picture that I'm in the verse section, verse 1, right? Verse 1, verse 2, bridge, intro. So I'm in the verse 1, let's say. I can just get away with these super often hats. Often hats, these are often hats. They hit so often. They are being used for energy. But if I'm using on the verse 1, most of the time people don't use hats in the verse 1. But if I'm doing it, I can just lower the volume of it. Yeah, I can still get away with it. But again, if you go listen to the radio, you're gonna see a lot of people have like different applications for it. Awesome. So what I did so far, again, I did the same technique. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I copy paste it to the second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So far I have 8. So I'm gonna take the whole section, I'm gonna copy paste. Now I'm gonna have 16. Once you achieve the 16, you're good. That's it. Now it's time to make this a little bit more fancier, make this more fun, but your aim, you start with 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all you start. And then you duplicate and you complete it to the 16. Okay. These are like the short patterns. I'm gonna also show you the longer patterns, the more complicated patterns like Pharrell Williams or other like top producer using like longer patterns. But so far this is enough for you just to get you started. So now let's listen. Awesome. So now I have like 16. I'm just gonna complete it to 32. I also want you to memorize these numbers. 4, 8, 16, 32. 4, 8, 16, 32. Very easy, right? That's how you're gonna build your drums. Build the 4, then build the copy and paste, make it 8. Then once you're happy with the 8, then copy paste and make it 16. And once you're happy with the 16, copy paste and make it 32. Okay? Yeah, step by step. Okay, let's listen from scratch. Let's just bring our focus to, so that way we can have some fun.
Cause of your laughter, haunting my mind. Tonight I'm on the dance floor, undressing your shadow. How perfect you look. because of your laughter, haunting my mind. Tonight I'm on the dance floor, undressing your shadow. How perfect you look.
Nice. Okay, so far, okay, we got two patterns. But of course I'm gonna teach you more. Drums are fun. I'll show you more tricks, but I don't know how long this video is right now. Yeah, let me upload this right away. Okay, take care, Kate. I believe in you, girl. You're killing it. See ya.